G'day ladies and germs, Conor here from Sudubs Media, back with another video, and this is my 1 month review of the Pixel 8a. There it is, the 8a. What colour would you say that is? Porcelain. They're calling it porcelain. Dunny, toilet colour. So the Pixel 8a is Google's latest A series phone. It's the mid-ranger. Now mid-range price in Australia is 850 smackaroonies. Now it is hard to differentiate. It is hard to make a selling point for mid-range phones. They're all very similar. They're all like, 5,000 milliamp hour battery with good software and 10 gigs of RAM, something like that. It's hard to make a selling point, but you can with the Pixel phones for two reasons. Camera, on all levels, their cameras are best in class. The video, not so much, but cameras definitely. And their software, their smart software. I'll get more into that later. A lot of smart features, a lot of AI features they call it. So I'm just going to roll straight into the cameras and get the camera specs out of the way. This is off Google's website. Dun, 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 dun. 64 megapixel camera. That's the wide angle camera on the rear. And then we have a 13 megapixel ultra wide camera, no telephoto, but these are both pretty good cameras. f1.8 aperture on the 64 megapixel main cam, f2.2 on the 13 megapixel ultra wide, which is good enough. And then the front camera is also 13 megapixel with an f-stop of f2.2. F-stop of 2.2. And here's the examples. You've been watching them as I've been talking shit. You can see that the pictures are just fine. Take a good photo, share it on social media, never look at it again. That's the sort of thing you're going to be doing here. So the cameras are ball terror for that sort of stuff. You can even go a little bit further and edit them as well. And that's where some of the AI features come in. You get a lot of good features in the Google software for editing photos. AI features of like removing things from the object, taking a photo and being able to change the facial expressions of people within the photo. So I'm smiling, Peter's smiling, Paul's not smiling. We'll swap Paul's sad face with Paul's happy face, and you've got all three of us smiling in the photo. That's pretty cool stuff. I don't like AI. Let me just put that out there, but that's pretty cool. You want that photo, you can share it with people, and that's the sort of thing that's going to make people happy. Now, I wouldn't say that's good for photography in general, but it's good for that photo, that situation. Just get rid of sad sack face over here and replace him with happy face. And that's the sort of magic that Google can do with its editing software. It can also replace the sky and do AI things in the sky. And you also have the audio eraser. So if you're like, say, recording someone playing music or singing, and then an ambulance goes past, you can remove the sound of the ambulance or the dog barking and just have the instrumental in the audio. So that's pretty cool as well. I've actually never found a use case scenario for it. If you have, let me know in the comments, but it's pretty cool that you can do that these days. I'm going to stop talking about the camera. Video is okay, 4K 60, gives okay results. Not best in class, I would say, for video. I think Samsung will do better video, and definitely Apple will do better video. You can get the Apple 14, I think, for $887 at the moment, or is that the Apple 13, which is going to do better video than the Pixel 8a, I promise you. Okay, so this is the rear-facing camera on the Pixel 8a, 4K, 60 frames per second. I'll let you be the judge of the quality of it. 4K 60 in Australia, we shoot 4K 50 or 4K 25, so they don't give us the option to change it to Australian shooting standards, but anyway, it is what it is. What do you think? Comments down below. And this is 4K on the front-facing camera. That's not bad either. It's not bad. Again, you can make your judgment. Now, day-to-day performance I'm going to go into next, and it really performs just fine, like any device over $400 does these days. But here you do get 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, the G3 Tensor chip, which all of that combined seems to work really well in my opinion. I don't have any problems with the software on the 7A upwards. It just copes, everything copes well. And look, that's my experience also with Oppo phones and Apple phones and Samsung. They really perform quite well. Day-to-day use, no problems. Whether you're watching content, creating a little bit of content, or scrolling up and down on web pages, it's going to be a pretty smooth experience. And you do get up to 120 Hertz refresh rate here on the display. So that's nice to have as well. That's going to make the performance seem better than what it actually is. It's pretty good for gaming. It's hard to trip up a mid-range phone these days, but I was gaming, Asphalt 9 does the trick, 120 Hertz refresh. I mean, it does what it needs to do to perform. So what do you do on your phone? Use it for maps, it's going to perform. What do you do on your phone? Use it for photos, it's going to take photos. When do you ever actually multitask, like 2 things at once on your screen? Even then, it's going to be able to perform. So you're watching a video on the top half of your screen and writing a text message on the bottom half. It's going to perform, it's going to do the job just fine. So performance, no brainer. It's got you covered. Now, in that software and performance, we do have Android 14 out of the box. We've just got a feature drop on the other Pixel phones, and there's some pretty cool features in there. Again, the AI stuff, or the smart features for me, that translation mode, live captions, I mean, all these things that are in there that it does offline as well, like identifying songs for you offline, like 40,000 songs. It can hear a song on the radio with no internet connection and tell you which song it is. I like that. That's a pretty cool feature. Translating messages for you, translating text messages for you, being able to do that offline as well makes this phone a great travel companion, and also great, as I mentioned in other videos, for if you live in a multicultural society like I do, these translating apps can be pretty handy at times, and Google, I think, does it better than anyone and has it all on the Pixel phones, just wrapped up nicely. It's just a nice little bundle there of smart features. The smart features are killer, and I really do love them. Now, this display, it has a peak brightness of 2000 nits, but normal brightness, I think, of 1400. Let me just check that before I trip myself up and you all slaughter me in the comments. 6.1 inch actual display, 1080 by 2400, 430 ppi, so it's going to look amazing. And up to 120 Hertz refresh rate, 1400 nits brightness with a peak brightness of 2000 nits. So in those moments out in the hot sun, look down at your phone, you're going to be able to see what is on there. 12 minutes, fuck, running out of time. Now, battery life is 4,492 milliamp, random number, but it gets you through a day. Now, Google say up to 72 hours of battery life, but that's pretty much putting it in battery saver mode and not fucking using it. So that's not realistic. But what is realistic is that you will wake up at 6 a.m. and go to bed at 10 p.m. with some battery life left in your phone. And I think for the most part, that is the case. Now, I am aware that most people stare at their phones for long periods of time these days, and the screen on time is massive. I'm talking 8-9 hours at a time. If that's the case, you might need a top-up charge throughout the day, but that's the same with any device, with demands of the people today just watching content at all hours, at all times. So do think about that. But for the most part, I'm getting through a full day. I do charge all the time though, but if I didn't, I could get through to the end of the day. An example being, I went out last week for a whole day in the city to do some street photography. Pixel 8a was my daily driver for that day. And about 7 p.m, I put it on battery saver mode. And then I got home and I went to bed and I had maybe, I think it was like down to 10%. That's a whole day of no top-up charging. You do get VPN with Google. I don't know, I think the whole Google VPN thing is a bit of a crock of shit. Just putting that out there. We do get the 7 years of OS updates, which I do like. I think that's a good feature for any Pixel device. I think that's a good selling point. You know, now for the next 7 years, your Pixel phone is going to get updated every month for 7 years. I like that. I think that offers more security than the frickin' VPN. Fingerprint unlock is garbage. Just the worst I've had on a Pixel device for a long time. Such a disappointment. What else can I say? Like, it takes me like generally 2 attempts at least every time. It should be better. It should be better. I don't even have to explain it. It just should be better. Now, it does also have face unlock, which is slightly better than the fingerprint unlock, so I recommend you use that. Or if you want that full security, go with a pin, but that's a bit fiddly as well. Now, it is IP67 dust and water resistant. It is made of plastic. It does have some pretty big bezels on it, which I don't really care too much about, but they're definitely noticeable. I heard MKBHD saying the chin is unacceptable or some shit. And maybe it is, but I don't really notice it too much. But the bezels are noticeable. But I do like the form factor. I do like those nice rounded edges. I think that they make it a nice firm grip, if that's even possible. But I did notice it and I did like it. Yeah, so plastic and the frame is aluminium. And that is 76% recycled plastic for the back of it. So that's pretty good. I do like that Google does that environmentally friendly stuff with their devices these days. Now, I think I'm just going to mention before I close out that the battery life charges could be a little bit faster. The wireless charging could definitely be faster. I don't know why, but this is one area where Google's behind the 8 ball when you look at some of the other products around. So that could be faster. Look, the wired charging is fast enough. It's going to charge pretty quickly, but that wireless is still a problem. I wouldn't rely on it for fast charges, but you know, there's plenty of other devices that you can't get a fast charge out of wireless as well. So it's there in a mid-ranger. That's my video on the Pixel 8a. I recommend it. I think if you've got $850 spare, buy the Pixel 8, not the 8a. Unless the 8a is on special, then it's probably a good buy. I still recommend it. I just recommend it when it's on special. Yeah, mid-ranges, hey? What questions do you have? Let me know in the comments down below. Questions about the Pixel 8a, the Pixel software, Pixel hardware, whatever. Doesn't have to be the 8a, it could be the 8 or the 8 Pro or the 7a. Hit me up in the comments down below. I'll answer your questions or block the idiots. Either way, I will enjoy it. So thanks for watching. Check out.